Hello Evertonians and welcome to the All Together Now podcast. As you know, we're here at the Bramley Moore Pub on the banks of the Ribble Mersey, our future home. Here, of course, I'm Tony Scott, joined as ever by Greg O'Keefe and our special guest as ever, Gavin Buckland. Every now and again he pops in for his 2 pennies worth on Everton Football Club. We're here this week to discuss F.F.P, fifth place, and Manchester City scenario and will that affect Everton. We'll be here to discuss also SportPesa. They will no longer be involved in Everton Football Club from next season. The Bramley Moore Stadium, we'll give you the latest on that, and also we'll be looking ahead to Arsenal versus Everton on Sunday. First up, F.F.P is a popular topic amongst football fans in general, Greg, isn't it? Are you ready for trying too hard here on Manchester City?
Are they trying too hard?
Yeah.
To what?
To me, I think they're trying too much to prove a point in terms of what they're doing. It's an English team. Let's go in for the kill with the 2-season ban and the €30 million.
Oh, so it was their punishment excessive?
Yeah.
I think it comes down to whether or not you believe in the principles of financial fair play, and then fundamentally, it seems to me what they're trying to do is make a statement about the seriousness of it. So, I know what you mean. It in a way, it's excessive. But it either works that way or it doesn't. They either just scrap it and let sort of natural selection take place, and let sides like City not buy their way, but with richer owners operate on a different level from other clubs, or they try and enforce it. And if they do believe they've found a significant breach of it, then it's arguably not excessive, because we'll still see what the Premier League are going to do about it. That'll be, for me, the next interesting development is whether the Premier League decide to be as similarly punitive. I don't think they will. I don't think they'll come out and copy UEFA and start throwing around significant points, handicaps next season, or let alone stripping titles. I think that's unlikely. But as I say, for me, it's a case of whether or not UEFA are taken seriously, and I think that's why it's going to be interesting to see what happens when City, as they're going to vigorously contest it, what comes of it, because in the long run, they've got access to the most wealthy and best legal sort of resource in the world, haven't they? Yeah. And can they afford to tie it up in knots? And maybe they can, but maybe at least UEFA can say, well, look, we tried, and we tried to be excessive, or not excessive, we tried to hit them hard and make our point, and we'll see what happens. Gav,
FFP was brought in to stop the likes of Bury happening once again, wasn't it? It wasn't really to stop your Manchester Cities from dominating English football, was it, and European football? So why is this happening now all of a sudden?
Well, because City allegedly have misled UEFA, haven't they, with overstating sponsorship income through money via their owner. So I agree with Greg. It's a serious case, isn't it? There's been discussions about City for a long time, isn't it, over financial fair play, about payments from third parties off payroll and stuff, or alleged payments. So I think it's a very serious thing. And FFP, they say it was brought in to stop Chelsea. It was brought in before City got money, by the way, a year or two. So I think there has this good side that it stops people, hopefully not going out of business and overspending. And people say FFP, you've got the drawbridge up, haven't you? And therefore, like us, might want to invest loads of money but can't. The other side of that coin, though, isn't it? Is it does protect clubs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think there's for and against it, to be honest with you. But I agree with what UEFA have done. Say about City having access to lawyers, UEFA aren't short of you, Bobby, either, are they? Let's face it. So it's been. I think the thing, and this will be the outcome of it.
Yeah.
Because I think there are rumours that actually, isn't it, that when it goes to arbitration, that there may be other clubs apart from City that may be mentioned as well.
Well, sorry, Gav. What's the problem with Sheikh Mansour going into Manchester City and spending hundreds of millions of his own money, or obviously his company's money? What's the problem with that?
Well, I think I'm not sure. It's the only business in the world where an owner has not got limitless powers to invest. So that's the in theory they should, but if you didn't have FFP, you'd have players on like £1 billion a week, wouldn't you? You'd have like the 10
Yeah, I understand. Have a wage structure. Have a wage structure. Do you know what I mean? Have some kind of
you've got to have some sort of control to try and keep it a level playing field. But the problem is, at the moment, it's only a level playing field for a number of clubs, isn't it?
Well, look, that's what I'm trying to say. So, if that was the case, if FFP were in place, Greg, Everton would never, Farhad Moshiri wouldn't be able to invest the money as in Everton. What do we expect to just sit there and let Liverpool conquer Europe for the next 30, 40 years and us to sit there and go, oh well, our time will come. It'll never ever happen like that. So this is why Moshiri's got involved, to try and get us to where Manchester City are probably in the same situation. Man United dominated for years. What are City fans going to do? Sit there and go, oh well, that's it then. Let's try and hope that we'll get to them one day. That's why Sheikh Mansour took over, to make them become the force that they are.
It's interesting that you cite Liverpool though and in relation to us, because look, as much as it pains me to say it, if it's on the surface level to be believed, and I see no reason why it isn't, they've actually a perfect example of a club that's complied with FFP and been a success.
Only recently, the last 20 years, they spent a fortune, haven't they?
Within compliance to financial fair play.
Well, that's all we're hearing.
Yeah.
So I feel like you don't necessarily need like the billionaire sheikh or Middle Eastern influx of money. Admittedly, I take what you're saying. Any club that's got that resource potentially is fortunate enough to have an owner like that is going to take it. And why shouldn't they? What Gav said struck a chord. It's like the only business where, the owner can't have limitless, ability to plough his own money in it. In a sense, that's ludicrous. But then it comes down to the interesting part for me is fairness of FFP, fair play. And that's relative, so I don't really know whose interests is FFP in. I mean, and it does smack a little bit of hypocrisy when it's UEFA and FIFA, well, UEFA in this case, who are trying to impose it, when we all know that that there've been issues with UEFA in terms of their governance and the people who've been running that, and the ongoing investigations and dark stories written about them. So would we rather have a football world without it, or would we rather have an altered version of it? I don't know. I
just think for years, football, normally 9 times out of 10, the team that spends the most money generally wins the trophies. You can go back to Everton in the 60s, Gav, prime example. They spent the most money more than anyone else. That's why they're one of the biggest clubs in the 60s. Blackburn, early 90s. Manchester United, late 90s, and then Chelsea come about, and Liverpool spent their money, and now City have. Football's in cycles, who spends the most money, and that's just the way it's always been.
Yeah, the only way to resolve it is by redistributing the income within football fairer. So at the moment, the richest clubs, they get the biggest share of the income, and it's tally deals, commercial deals, money from competition. So the money that, say in the Champions League, the bulk of that will go to the biggest clubs. Well, can't you get away with a system that redistributes that income fairer amongst everybody, all the clubs, to try and keep it as a source level playing field? Because at the moment, it's just money goes to money, isn't it? It's just sort of like
it's like that in Spain and Germany, isn't it? When it's televised money.
And that's the only way you can partially resolve it. But I don't know. It's a bit of a difficult one. This, I don't think the people who took over City, by the way, were intent on beating Man United. I think there was various commercial advantages in doing that. Because it was rumours, it was Abu Dhabi Group who took City over originally, remember? And there was rumours that they were looking at Everton, mainly.
Yeah.
And that the problem with Everton didn't have the name of the city where it's based in, and it was alleged that actually that put them off. Where Manchester was the gateway to Europe from North America, and so there was rumours that Everton were on the sort of wish list. But there's a lot more reasons why they want to invest in Manchester City other than just trying to make them a big football club. There's several reasons there. But it's a difficult one, this. I think, for me, it's, what will happen if FFP, if it ceased to exist as a result of the court case? I mean, because if you're an owner, that's what the argument you'd say, isn't it? This can't be legal. And any other business in the world, I can invest as much money as...
So you're right. So what would happen if actually City win this?
Well, exactly. Well, what's the ramifications for Everton if City win it?
Huh? So we can go and spend beyond our means?
Well, it'd be an interesting one, wouldn't it? At the same time, I can't, how many people are backing City at the moment? I'm not sure. It's an interesting thing for our FFP and our position with FFP. And what happens if it stays? What happens if we get into Europe? Because we're not compliant with FFP at the moment, are we?
I think you're right. We've avoided over scrutiny up to a point because we've not been in Europe.
Yeah.
And were we to qualify for the Europa League next season, then, as Gav says, currently we're not compliant. But I believe, speaking to people at the club, behind the scenes, they're confident. Don't ask me how, but they're confident that they would be compliant come the start of European competition next season.
7 Everton players' contracts will be released.
Well, it's not.
I gather.
Yeah, well, there's a few things.
You only see 60 grand a week if you're out the door.
Well, I mean, we are like, whatever, 100 million overspent last time. That would reduce this year. But it's all tied into what we're next going to talk about, isn't it? I would imagine what the argument is. They say, try and reduce the wage bill. They will have X million more commercial income a year. And I think I don't know if you read the FFP rules. If you've got like a spare month, read them and then like get totally confused. I've read them a few times. Yeah. You might. And one of the arguments is if you can show your financial performance is going to be improving. So
that's what Liverpool done for you.
You've got a plan to improve your financial performance. That comes into the conversation.
Okay.
So and
also the stadium over there was helping them.
And also as well, actually being in Europe helps ironically enough, isn't it? Yeah. And also you can go up to 30 million overspend, can't you, as long as the owner covers the 30 million. So and Everton aren't soft, are the people that Mercedes got work home aren't soft. So I assume I'm not going to sort of like hopefully finish in the European place and then think, are we going to comply with FFP? You suspect that, work has already begun on that.
Of course, yeah.
Going back to last year, probably around commercial deals, around other income that they can generate. It will be dependent though on. I still can't see us keeping our best players and breaking even. I think at some point, when push comes to shove, we may end up having to sell somebody.
What I'd say as well, and we're going to come on to this, I know, but everything is up for grabs with Everton this summer, really. Shirt sponsorship, we'll get into this in a second. Sleeve sponsorship. If I was going to have a gamble on it, I would say Angry Birds might fly the coup. Sleeve sponsor.
If we wait for that one all week,
may even get more angry. Furious Birds. And we might even have a new kit manufacturer as well.
Yeah.
So all these deals, you'd imagine, are going to be bringing in added commercial revenue.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll make us more compliant, more competitive, enable Mkhitaryan and perhaps Usmanov to bankroll Ancelotti more.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gav. In terms of UEFA, just finally touching on that, do you think what they're seeing now in terms of English clubs dominating European football? We've seen the 2 European Cup finals last year, Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. Yeah. They're getting, obviously, this is not happy for them. They're seeing English clubs dominate European football. They're not liking this, so obviously they're going for the kill straight away. Well, City win this, then UEFA have had it, haven't they? Surely.
European clubs don't like English football, do they? Yeah. That's why there was.
But I noticed nothing ever happened. PSG, I guarantee if PSG were in the final last year, was there anything be mentioned then?
Well, they've got their own separate issues. I just think it's a really interesting case, this City one, in relation to us. I'm not really. How it affects City, I'm not really bothered about it. How it affects us, we should be concerned about. Because, as you say, there's 2 options, isn't there? If FFP ceases or is an amended form, that affects us. But actually, if the City case gets thrown out, and UEFA do have a long history of they maybe being, shall we say, not very fair with English clubs, mainly because of the participants within the UEFA being, sort of, I won't say jealous of the power of the Premier League, but to say that, then that does have other ramifications, perhaps, for other English clubs, should there be an FFP conversation.
Yeah.
You could imagine.
Do you think they're worried about the power the Premier League have got over UEFA?
No, Premier League got the other way around, isn't it?
La Liga, the chief executive of La Liga was one of the first people to come out and applaud what UEFA are doing with City, and his words stuck in my throat a little bit because keeping your own house in order. A championship where only 2 teams really are ever competitive. But obviously he's going to come out and applaud that because he wants La Liga to be more successful. He wants La Liga teams to get into the finals of the Champions League. And as you say, when it comes to a point of dominance, he's not going to like that.
Of course.
So it's really interestingly played.
It's really significant for us Especially as Cutsper's trying to get
as in terms of fans and chief
Absolutely.
executive and board members and the whole club as well. It'll be really interesting for us to watch this case unfold. We normally do predictions at the end of shows, don't we? But we'll do one on this specifically. FFP. Who wins? Do City win their case?
You could get some sort of, really decide to both win. You know what I mean?
So will they get the two-season ban?
I'd very much doubt it.
So City win them.
I think it'll either go it'll go two ways. Either it gets completely thrown out, City's claim 2-year ban, or the other way goes.
What are you going with then? Come on.
Goes like the City get banned, or the old FFP thing gets thrown out. I think there'll be two options. I can't see a compromise really.
No. What's Gav going for then? Prediction.
You know what?
I don't never seen him so quiet with a crystal ball.
Yeah, I tell you what, if I knew the outcome, I'd be earning like 10 grand a day.
Do you want me to jump into the breach?
I actually don't know, so I actually don't know. Right. I think I'm a far more interesting question would be, what would be the desired outcome for Everton Football Club?
For City to win?
No FFP.
Yeah, no FFP.
Frankly,
yeah.
I think City will avoid it. I think UEFA will come a cropper and we'll turn around and go, well, we tried, and that'll be the end of it. And it might be the end of FFP, or it might be come back in a chastened, less effective, watered down version.
I think that might be an outcome of it, but it's massively significant for Everton where we stand at the moment.
Spot on. In terms of finance, Greg, you touched on it before. SportPesa will no longer be our shirt sponsor going forward. To be bluntly honest, it's not been the best of deals in terms of on and off the pitch for Everton, has it? SportPesa.
Well, I mean, it was a record shirt sponsor, wasn't it, when we signed it? So it was improved terms on Chang. So in like the sort of initially, it was better. Don't think it was massively better. And there's obviously been high profile gaffes with their kind of wider company
social media
thing. They haven't helped themselves. And then as you move into an era when there's more scrutiny than ever on gambling in football, isn't there? And then Denise Barrett-Baxendale speaking about it in the general meeting in January, when she sort of basically said, look, in a perfect world we wouldn't have a gambling company. With the Athletic, who I obviously work for, I've done pieces this week about how number 10 are almost considering a ban. So we think actually Everton have probably just been savvy enough to get ahead of the curve and to end it before it becomes a really big PR on goal. It's already been fraught, because on one hand we've got Everton in the community doing the amazing work we do in parts of this city which are obviously heavily impacted by addiction from gambling and other issues. So we went from alcohol, a beer manufacturer in Chang, to a gambling company, and I think it's the right time for us to move on and look. And I think on the talk about trying to target like a blue chip company, be interesting to see how we can attract one of them. But I think as ever the answer might be sitting behind us. It might be what our potential is rather than what it is right now.
You're spot on, Greg, because you think about this logically now. There's a possibility this shirt sponsorship will see us into the new stadium. So any company looking at this now going, I want my brands on their shirt as they start their first game in the Bramley Moore Stadium. It's only
I'm not sure. What happens if you enter in the Premier League? Isn't it about the exposure you want? I think having Carlo as manager helps.
Just a bit,
to be fair. Ultimately, we can talk about brands and stuff like this. If you did a graph of the commercial income for all the Premier League clubs and sort of match that to how many times you've been in the Champions League or top 6 in the Premier League over the last 15 to 20 years, you'll see 14 Premier clubs at the bottom, and then a massive step change to the top 6 Premier League clubs in the terms of their commercial income. I mean, we get 40 million in our accounts last year, which is quite good for the teams outside the 40. The next highest up is probably 120, 150 million. For Liverpool now we're probably 200 million. So we're massively behind, and ultimately, and I don't want to sort of act like a glass half empty. You might get a bit of extra, but it's not. An extra 10 million a year might be great, but we've got like 150 million a year to catch up, and
well,
that's ultimately what we got to try and get to. And the only way we can do that is by qualifying for Europe regularly. We may talk about this later, maybe even get into the Champions League earlier than expected. And that to me is the really important thing. We've got to get it right on the pitch. I don't think a new stadium as such will make a great deal of difference. You want exposure by being in the Champions League, by being in Europe. And I think that's what we need to focus on. We can talk about selling a brand and all this, and Everton, good club and all that. But ultimately, it's about how well you do on the pitch will drive how much commercial income you'll get, surely, and the players that you've got.
Is Gav right there, Greg? Because looking at this now, I take his point on board, but only 4 teams can get in that Champions League. The rest, you're going to have an Arsenal, a Manchester United, you could possibly have a City or a Tottenham not in there this season. So there's going to be 3 or 4 teams, so-called big teams, who have got these shared sponsorships and mega deals. They're not in the Champions League, but they're still...
But they're either established Champions League teams already.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, they all are.
Manchester United.
They are established Champions
League.
They're
not. They didn't announce it. They didn't make
but I mean, they've got a pedigree, a CV of Champions League
but they're not. The only teams are dipping the toe in. They're not really...
It would be Man United.
Apart from Liverpool, if you're a company, apart from Man City or Liverpool, I wouldn't be throwing up all kinds of ultimatums up for Champions League football, because the rest are dipping the toe in and out of it.
But I think United are one of the biggest clubs in the world, so wherever you go they're going to sell shirts and be a commercial viability. City have been in it consistently. We'll see what happens. Tottenham have been in it. I think I read somewhere that they've got the longest
longevity in
the Champions League. Arsenal, take your point, on the cusp of falling off of being a consistent Champions League team.
They haven't been in it since Wenger, have they?
However, obviously they're in London, and they've got the glamour of Arsenal and Emirates. They've already got a blue chip sponsor. So I think Gav's right in that you kind of have to be in that mix to really be in the thrust of getting the big sponsors. But equally, what you're saying is correct, is that only 4 teams can. So if you're not going to be able to do it, what's your strategy? How are you going to get it?
Well, is this where Farhad Mashiri and maybe even Usmanov use their contacts to get that blue chip sponsorship that can bring this money in?
But why is the blue chip company going to want to sponsor a team that's not giving them access to the Champions League?
But this is what I'm trying to say, it's contacts, and this is where
but they're not going to just, if they're not a charity, they're not just going to give, I take what you're saying on contacts, and Usmanov one of the best contacts of football can want. You'll have to look at the deal for the naming rights, or potential naming rights, but I don't know. I think let's just finish 5th this season.
Yeah, it's chicken and egg, isn't it? What I would say there, it's not just performance on the pitch, it's your exposure off it in terms of how many followers you got around the world and Twitter followers.
Of course. That grows by Champions League football.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, what we got, I think we broke 2 million, was it not so? I mean, I think Liverpool have got 12, 14 million.
Alright, Gav.
Like no, what I'm saying is...
Kick him on while he's down.
No, what I'm saying is that in terms of sponsorship deals, it goes back to what I'm saying. Link it to sponsorship deals, link it to Twitter followers. You'll find a trend. And so what we've got to do is successful on pitch to drive our social media followers and all that type of stuff, and members of the club, and people want to see us.
So in terms of the summer, Gav, it's going to be absolutely massive in terms of commercial revenue coming in, isn't it? Because as Greg just touched on, the shirt sponsorship deal, the sleeve sponsorship deal, the kit manufacture, everything is going to change now, which could see us into this new stage.
Well, yeah, exactly, and at least we're doing something about it.
Yeah,
I mean, critics of the club in the past, probably fairly have said that we've been a bit too passive when it comes to this type of stuff, and taking the sort of but only Everton we'll just get by. But you do sense a determination. I think Denise said, didn't she, that they did a review of all their commercial activities, didn't they? And this is only sort of part of it. So as much as it sounds like a glass half empty, it's good to see we're doing something about it, but that we understand, and it's very important going forward. I think there's a wider view in football that's actually commercials overtaking telly as the primary source of income.
Yeah, definitely.
Because what they can see in the future is actually telly won't be as much per year as what it has been for lots of different reasons. So therefore, if you're going to retain your income, stream going forward, say 5-10 years time, then you've got to maximise and improve your commercial income, because I think there's they envisage a time where telly income will actually fall, and it could fall off the top, end of a cliff, couldn't it, really, in the modern age. So I think that's the other important thing. So fair play to the club for being proactive and at least being imaginative in what they're trying to do.
One thing I want to get off my chest is that in terms of the kids' kits, they normally leave it blank, because obviously they've had the Chang and the SportPesa, and them type of companies aren't allowed to sponsor children's and infants' kits. I take that on board, but why not have what they did last week in the victory last week? Everton in the community. Yeah. It just looks so good and so Everton that why can't they have that on the children's kit? They should do. Going forward, please do that, because it looks so good. Why not?
I'm just thinking
Everton in the community.
Yeah, okay.
Have that on your kids' kits, your baby kits, your infant kits.
Yeah.
Bang it on.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
Greg made a good point there, by the way, about being ahead of the game. Because I think, was it 10-12 Premier League clubs have got sponsorship deals with betting companies?
Yeah, half the Premier League.
If say, number 10 decides to ban, you're then looking for 10 or 12 clubs in the future looking for sponsors. Where actually, if we're ahead of the game, and sort of 6, 8, 12 months ahead of everybody else, then actually we could work for us. And I think that was a really valid point there.
Well, which may see us into the new stadium. There's going to be some stuff going on the Liverpool City Council website over the weekend, starting from Friday. Everton's full application's been uploaded onto Liverpool Council's website. Lots of key details in there. Greg, just briefly go through the ins and outs of it.
Yeah, so it's going to be up on the planning portal, and it's important, I think, for the club and the council and the city that everyone gets their say. And this is obviously separate from the consultation that happened last year. Hugely successful second public consultation that showed overwhelming support. That was a major hurdle. Planning obviously is perhaps the major hurdle to getting the dream of the stadium built. So formal consultation begins. People again urged to give their view, but this time it's to the council's planning department. The application is expected to be determined or decided, if you like, in the summer. So you have to bear with me, I'm reading from an email from the club. They're saying residents, local businesses, stakeholders, general public, this is your chance to give Liverpool Council your view on Bramley Moore. They'll have from Friday, so this Friday the 21st of February, until Friday the 20th of March, so just under a month. Maths was never my strong suit, to comment on the planning application. And so the way you can do that is by going to the council website, and it's sort of signposted from there. It'll take me about 25 minutes to read out this email address, but if you go at http://northgate.liverpool.gov.uk/Documents Explorer, you'll find it. A hard copy of the application if you've not online or not too confident being on the site, because it can be a little bit difficult to navigate. You can go to Central Library on William Brown Street on the first floor there. You can see the hard copy of this application. Get on the wait tonight before, because it's a big, hefty document, and it'll take a while to lift. No, it'll take a while to read through.
And you can go through the old school, the Gavway, can't you?
Yeah.
Sent in by post.
You can send why is it the Gavway?
I think I stated to my age and the children do every podcast.
It'll come to us all. Comment, you can't send them through. Planning Department, Liverpool Council, Cunard Building, Water Street. But yeah, get involved. Go and have your say. There's loads of interesting details that are emerging. But the headline things, don't forget, the People's Project wants to deliver a billion boosts to the economy, create up to 15,000 jobs, and attract 1.4 million visitors to the city each year. And it includes the creation of a water channel to retain the visual dock connection, fan zone, and a 345 space multi-storey car park. And obviously that's all after you get like a 52,000+ seater world-class iconic stadium on the banks of the Blue Mersey. So go and get involved. Check it out. Give your comments, as long as they're not negative. I'm only joking. Any comments?
You know what I was thinking about? They're talking about 3 years time. 3 years ago, I remember sitting in this very pub when it was announced.
I remember. We downstairs.
Remember. Just shows you how quickly time goes.
I had a bit of it. I had brownie. Listen, we could be, wouldn't it be amazing? Tony and I said, but before we got here, we were walking up and we said, like, do you think it'll actually be delivered by 2023? And this man does. I'm not saying I don't, but there's part of me that thinks, it's so ambitious. It'd be amazing. I don't really doubt it, but I've just got a little part of me thinks, I don't know.
When you see the key dates online and the way everything's
it seems very quick, doesn't it?
You're seeing like the build of the North Stand and the South Stand and then the car parks and the fan zone, and everything's just ticked off. And Everton have done the homework so much, and I remember lots of Everton fans going, why is it taking so long? And now when you see all these documents online and all the PDFs and they're all on there, there's 50, 60, 70 of them, and you're going, wow, now I really know why it's taken so long to get to the stage.
I, in my role as member of the Everton Heritage Society, I think I said we went to a presentation by the club just so we give some ideas about like sort of, some stuff to include. And you're right, I could not believe how amazingly complex the whole project is. That's the first thing. The second thing is the club has thought of everything. You can sometimes you can criticise the club occasions, but from what I've seen about the work that club's done, done involving this exercise, and everything has been covered. No stone's been left unturned. Literally, at Bramley Moore Pub, it's an enormously complicated project. And so much brain power has gone into this document that you really underestimate the amount of work that's being done. So, I agree. The projects have always got potential slippage, but you would hope that in this case, so much work's gone into it that, and all the eventualities have been looked into, that 3 years is is doable.
So the possibility to start work in September. We went over there before, didn't we, Greg? And it's sort of starting to hit home and seem a bit real now when you're going, ooh, as if like you've wanted something so much for so long, and now you're like a bit hesitant, and now you're going. Do you know what dawned on me? My mate sent me a text and he said, do you know when all these dates started coming out online servicing, and he went, he said, just think we've got about 60 games left at Goodison. And I went,
no, we've been in Europe, so I had another 15 on there.
And and that's when it struck out. I went, whoa, he's right. He said, you don't think of it like that. But obviously you're 19 home games a season. Yeah. So three seasons, and then you've got 60 games left, and you're going, start ticking them off.
For another podcast, isn't it? Other clubs have shown that that's a difficult transition period, isn't it?
Yeah.
In between the season, a couple of seasons before you move staging.
Oh, definitely.
For lots of reasons. So, it'll be interesting, but no, it was great to see that yesterday.
Indeed. Getting to matters on the pitch this weekend, we'll talk about the fifth spot now. Can Everton do it if they beat Arsenal, Gav?
What, get fifth?
Yeah.
How many points are we behind?
4 or 5? We're 5 points behind fourth place.
Yeah, we've got a tough, well, on paper, a tough run of fixtures.
Big dunk, wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but let me finish. But having said that, we are one of the form teams in the Premier League after you know who. Carlo's done a good job, and there's absolutely no reason at all why we can't carry the form that we've had in the last sort of 9 or 10 games against teams below us in the league. How we can't carry that up against the teams above us. I mean, because you're playing Arsenal now. It's not like going to play them at Highbury in 2004, is it? It's a different game. So I'm very confident, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And we need to keep Richarlison and Dalvert. Tell it's been a long day. Dalvert Lewin. Yeah.
Is he in your place, then?
Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin are really key for us, I think.
Yeah,
keep them scoring goals. Yeah.
Gregor's fifth place, achievable.
Totally agree with Gav. Also, the addition of Andre Gomez, remarkable, unbelievable turnaround that he's potentially going to be involved, maybe even start. I'd prefer if he was come off the bench. I'll have all sorts of kittens if he's. But then again, if he's fit enough, what I'm trying to say is his ability to move them through the midfield, to pass vertically, not laterally.
Vertically, get it right, get it what Carlo wants.
Vertically, with vision into channels, with great balls. We saw it in the little clip of him playing at Finch Farm. He played a lovely pass into Dalvert Lewin.
You do know you're getting a text that he scores.
Absolutely,
But huge timely boost, and I hope he can come in and stay fit and be consistently part of the run-in. No reason why not. And then, let's ignore the remote chance of fifth, meaning that you qualify for the Champions League. But let's just say it gets you into the group stage of the Europa League. That'd be a massive plus, because you don't want to be bothering with having your pre-season halved by having to play qualifying fixtures to get into the Europa League. Group stages, I think it's the way to do it is to get fifth. And be nailed on.
Arsenal playing tonight.
Sorry, C. Cumin 17-18 for that.
Exactly. That's the point. Yeah.
Arsenal
playing in Greece on Thursday night helps Everton, surely to God. Everton have had 2 weeks off.
Well, that's
scratching on the beach.
Some of the teams that we're playing, scratching on the beach. Yeah. Some of the teams we are competing against are in Europe in the Champions League, the Europa League, aren't they? So we're not. You know, as per we've got just the Premier League at this stage of the season.
The top 10 in the Premier League have all got cup competitions.
Yeah. So
distracting them, we haven't.
Momentum's a great thing in football, isn't it? Momentum at the right time's a great thing, and that's what we've got at the moment.
Massive.
And if we carry that momentum forward in the next 2 or 3 games, then there's absolutely no reason at all. But everybody else taking points off each other that we can't sort of get in the mix.
In the mix, that's what I mean. In the mix, Gav.
We've had this conversation so many times over the years, like the three of us back from Loyal Blue to now. You've also got to remember that we haven't won at Chelsea and Arsenal for a painfully long time.
Is it 97 or 96?
If records mean anything, 96. Then the chances are that it's a long shot. But and again we've said this, but with Marco, but with however, with a proven winner at the highest level at Ancelotti, you would argue that you go into it and one of your best midfielders fit again in a better chance of going and breaking those records than in a long time.
Interesting to see how Gomez fits into a flat four midfield, by the way.
Yeah, it will be 4-4-2.
What role he plays.
It will be interesting.
Whether he sits or whether he plays more of a box-to-box role.
I think an extra midfielder with him will help him.
Depends what their role is, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, whether he's fit enough at the moment to get up and down the pitch for 90 minutes is one thing. So I think you may find that he just sits in, and maybe his first couple of games he sits in, and somebody else plays a more box-to-box role.
We've been winning games with Sigurdsson as the two in midfield, so surely to God we can win games with Gomez in one of the two.
Well, what if the two?
You'd have to have a Schneider.
No,
then you're struggling, then aren't you? So none of them can throw a tackle in. So you'll need a Delph or a Schneider with.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. But you could play something like, I don't know, Gomez and Tom Davies, say, where Tom plays more box to box. I'm just thinking aloud there. We've got a couple of options in midfield which we've not had for a while. It'll just be interesting to see within Carlo's system who are those two going to be in the centre mid and what roles they play. And that's going to be a really interesting conundrum.
It will be. So we're going to go with prediction time once more.
Yeah. Where does this vertical stuff coming from all of a sudden?
It's Carlo,
the manager, Silver Fox himself.
You down him, by the way?
What?
You down him with his speech?
No,
keep it going.
No, never heard.
I think he's probably poking fun at the ridiculous of saying vertical.
Passing,
The point is, we've had sideways and backwards inflicted on us for so long. I don't care what you call it, as long as it goes.
We had no passing with Allardyce. We had sideways passing under Martinez.
Yeah. We had too much passing with Martinez, didn't we?
Sideways passing.
Prediction, yes.
Go on, prediction, yeah.
Sorry, you went a bit vertical.
In keeping with the general positiveness of the podcast.
Yeah, it's been full of positivity.
I'm obliged to say Arsenal 0, Everton 1.
Ooh, I will say Arsenal 1, Everton 2.
I will say, because no one gives me the credit for getting the score right last time.
Did you?
Everton 3, Crystal Palace 1.
All right, okay, all right.
And I've got a few times on the slide this week, and I'm still waiting for
all right.
Me plaque and, you know what I mean, bottle of
we'll go through them all and then add them up at the end of the season.
All right, I'm going to say Everton 1, Arsenal 1.
The pod being full of positivity. 5th place is up for grabs in the F.F.P. We're going to have a new shirt.
Just that explains one thing. You know, in the Palace game when Cavalier missed that one at the end, that's why I was cheering in the press box. That's how they got his prediction wrong.
Underneath the table.
I vigorously don't know where that one come from, but I sincerely hope I'm wrong there and we can upset the record and not win since 1892.
I'm positive. Positive about Saturday. I think there's a good feeling around the club at the moment. I think
yes, indeed. And the 5th place is up for grabs due to F.F.P. We're going to have a new shirt sponsor, new sleeve sponsor, possibly new kit manufacturer. Bramley Moore Stadium's ready to get built. And the Toffees are going to go into the Champions League, Gav. How's that for positivity?
So, absolutely.
Love it indeed. Blues, if you enjoyed that podcast, do share it all over our Facebook and Twitter pages. Thanks to Ed, Greg, Gav and myself, and we'll be back next week, hopefully, to record another podcast where we can see you get 3 points against Manchester United. See you soon.